FearTheBeard.org. FearTheBeard.org.
FearTheBeard.org.
We got contacted by the Miami Herald to offer advice, as it were, about how to make Miami fans maybe a little more like Golden State fans. They're tired of seeing empty seats at the beginning of games, and they got clubs in the stadium that outdo the clubs we got here that are just clubs. But what advice would you give the Miami management in terms of their marketing department, in terms of putting butts in seats earlier in the games? What would you give away tickets to D-Wade's parties, or how would you get them there?
It's kind of hard, because a few things I know, give away different things. First 1,000 people get here, this and that. Give them away with rally towels, T-shirts, and things like that. But that's always going to have a budget too as well. So it's pretty hard. And Miami is more of a you got to show up and as everybody you got to see when you really sing. So later I get there, everybody gonna see me when I walk in. So that's a lot of people have that mindset. But they're great fans when they get in there. When everything, like the playoffs come around, between the Laker fans and the Heat fans, I think I go with the Heat fans because when the playoffs come around, they dress up in all white, whatever the theme is, they do it. But they always come, a little late. But that's just how it is in Miami. They come,
they gotta drive through the city.
Yeah, they gotta drive
the scissor doors up on the Lamborghini press.
So they gotta make their grand entrance. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, that's what they do.
What kind of fan were you growing up? Who did you root for? What type of play did you respect the most, and what teams?
You know what? Growing up in LA, I was always a Lakers fan. So I had the opportunity to watch them win 3 championships. I thought that was great. I used to always cheer for them. I used to want to go to the parades and things like that, but my mother would never let me skip school to go to the parades.
I've been around this thing since I was born, basically. I was born in Charlotte when my dad was playing for the Hornets. And for as long as I can remember, I was always in an arena or at practice or somewhere, NBA affiliated, following my dad. And I was just so blessed to be able to meet all of his teammates and kind of understand that they're just normal people like us, like anybody else that are just having the blessing to be able to play basketball that's on a great stage, and a lot of people watch it, so they kind of forget that when we're not playing basketball, we do have normal lives that with families, and we have other hobbies and things that people stuff that we want to do, like mine's playing golf, just normal stuff that everybody does. We just happen to play a game that brings a lot of attention. So not to forget that we're normal people.
What's your low round?
66 my low round. So I did that this past summer actually.
You shot a 66?
Yeah, I used to play in high school. I played competitive golf for 3 years. So I'm pretty good. If I had a lot of time, more time to practice, I'd probably be a little better.
After your dad, who was your favorite player growing up?
It's probably Muggsy Bogues, because from the time I was like 6, I started to realize who his teammates were, and I had a little game with myself to see how fast I could become taller than Muggsy. So I was always, going to practice and standing next to him and measuring myself against him. He really taught me a lot about how to play the game. Just spending time in his house and doing all sorts of stuff. So I think it was definitely, for him to be my favorite player, I was blessed to be able to spend a lot of time with him and learn a lot from him.
When did you first post him up?
When I was a junior in high school, we played at the YMCA right around the corner from his house. I think he had been out of the league for about 2 or 3 years at that point. He was just coming to have some fun and saw me there. We were playing against each other. And, it was the first time I scored on him in the block, and he didn't take that too kindly.
Anyway, just want to, we're doing a piece actually in conjunction with the Miami Herald and American Public Media about fans around the league, and you're starting tonight, or playing a more prominent role tonight. Yes, let's characterize it that way. Fans in the Bay Area versus fans in other cities around the league during the time you've been playing. What do you see around the league in other cities, and what do you see here that makes a difference?
I've never seen fans like this before.
Bay Area fans. Before I got out here, people would say, "Oh, you going to Golden State? They got the best fans." And I mean, that's a true statement from going around the league, seeing other fans. I don't see no fans better than ours.
Who did you grow up rooting for, and which players did you idolize?
Grew up rooting for. It was back then they were the Washington Bullets and the Orlando Magic when they had Penny Hardaway and Shaq and those guys. Washington Bullets is because Washington is the closest team to where I live. We don't have a professional basketball team in Virginia, so they was the closest. And then Orlando basically because Penny Hardaway, him and Jalen Rose were my favorite players growing up.
What was that like growing up, like somewhere there wasn't a team? Did you like travel to the games, or did you just try to catch it on television?
I mean, traveling to the games is kind of tough because it's like a 2-hour drive to Washington, D.C. from my house. So, we watched no game. Story when I was younger, I kind of grew up playing basketball on a military base, and we were fortunate enough to somehow get to go to Washington, D.C. and play on their court, the Bullets court. And one memory I had is I hit that 3 on the NBA court, and that was like my greatest basketball memory as a little kid. So that was pretty fun.
So, since the Heat contacted us about trying to get their fans more involved, if you were GM, marketing director for the Heat, what would you do to put butts in seats faster during the first quarter?
I don't know. I mean, you got 3 Olympians on the team. You're in Miami. I guess you got to give away free stuff to get them to come in there, give away some good prizes and stuff. That'd be my suggestion.
You've played in the pressure cooker of New York. You're new to this arena. Perhaps some impressions on fan behaviors around the league, and just sort of like if you were playing marketing director for the Miami Heat, what more could you do than have 3 Olympians on the team to get people to get to the game on time?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that in the first quarter, maybe they don't have as many fans as they do by the end of the game. Yeah, I don't know. That's I'm sure somebody's making quite a bit of money to figure that dilemma out. I actually came across the email that they sent out to the fans, the fan up thing you were speaking of. I think all I can say is that the fans here have been tremendous and continue to be tremendous, and we need to keep playing our hearts out on the floor to keep it that way.
Growing up in St. Louis, right? What team were you a fan of, and what players, and why?
Well, that was Michael Jordan's heyday. He was in Chicago, one of the closest cities I used to go. My dad and I used to take a trip up there about once or twice a year when we could, and go watch him play. So it was one of the closer cities, and conveniently it was the best part I'd ever lived was playing there. So it was a pretty easy decision.
Must have been tough to get tickets.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's why I said we went up there once or twice. I think if it would have been easier to get tickets, we'd have gone up there all the time.
I think it's great. Give fans a chance to interact with you, kind of tap into your personal life to, like the type of things you like to do, your hobbies and stuff. So, I think it's great. For instance, I play Call of Duty on PlayStation, and one night I tweeted, I'm trying to play Call of Duty, anybody want to play? And I put my name up there, my internet name for PlayStation, and a bunch of people ended up friend requesting me, and I played Call of Duty with some.
I think Twitter's huge with just, I try to do as much as possible to interact with the fans. Out here, a lot of them just want to know what's up behind the scenes, and just posting pictures of what's going on day-to-day with the NBA player's life, something that they wouldn't necessarily see by coming to the games and following us on ESPN and that kind of stuff.
So it's a great thing. I really like it. Like I said, I wish they would have had it back a few years ago because you learn so much. Something going on, I hear someone saying something about a rumor or something, I can go right on Twitter and find out anything I want. Trending topics and things like that, or just people tweeting and talking about things. So it's a great thing to go get instant news. It's a great thing, to talk to your friends and keep in touch on there. It's a great time to interact with your fans and the people that really support you and care about your craft.
FearTheBeard.org. FearTheBeard.org.